Breakfast is served. Pan of hash browns, a bunch of eggs, half a pound of bacon. Boy, I have to be pretty busy to work this one off today. One of the reasons that I can get away with having some meals like that hash browns and that pile of bacon and those eggs is when I'm up here, I'm always not full speed, but I'm always puttering for a good part of the day. And some of these tasks are kind of mundane and you get tired of them, but when I brought the wheelbarrow up, when I go back, I'll take some of the gravel for the chicken grit. While I'm going by here on my way out, I'm going to do some chainsawing further down the trail, but I'll do a little dab here. I'll throw some of the topsoil in here and throw it down here on some of my holes in the dam. And all these projects, they just they finally get better and better and get a better trail. And if I keep at it enough, I think I'm almost going to have to, I've been here about a couple weeks, I'm going to almost have to cut another notch in my belt. So the program is working. You know, at home when I'm at my local gym, you know, that's that place that you pay money to so you can go over and huff and puff and make yourself work hard. Well, here it's all free, but the advantage of that over there at the gym, when I'm on like a Stairmaster machine or whatever, I dial it in, and as I work out, it tells me how many calories I've probably burned off while I was there. Well, I think here I got that loaded up and all that. I doubt I've burned enough calories off yet for even getting rid of those hash browns. And that pile of bacon, that's going to take a lot of chainsawing later on to ever get caught up there. But I must say, I like this environment a lot better. Okay, just like the gym, ready to move on to the next exercise machine on down the trail. Got a 2-cycle engine on it, I'll give you a hint. This beaver pond is what I refer to as my middle beaver pond. And it's got a long trail on the top of the old dam too that I've been keeping mowed and manicured down. But just since I've been here, a few beaver have moved in and they've been going up into the swamps to the north and hauling out some brush. And the good thing about it is they got the dam sealed up, and I can see that the water levels are rising on our right side compared to the left. Here's down in here, you kind of see where they've been coming up over the top, getting down to where probably the home base they came from. There's another dam way down through the waterway down there that they've been using for a number of years. We're not going to burn any calories on this opening this time, but there's been a lot of pound shed keeping this old homestead open over the 30 years that I've been going up there. Looks about like, in fact, it's even bigger now than it was because we've got it brushed back so far. We get to pass this one up too. We've got all the trails mowed through it pretty much, and got it all cleaned up, so we can jump onto the next workout machine. Yesterday's weight loss program involved taking the chainsaw. I'm already a mile from the cabin. Took a lot of trees off the trails already. And then I headed out another 1.5 miles, clearing off some trees, and there were some big ones. And then I came back through that area that Jim and I had trouble coming through last winter down in the cedars, and I had just enough fuel to scrape by and get that all cleaned off on an alternate route coming back. But the nice advantage of that is when we're trying to shed some calories later in the season, it'll be a little easier. That may have been good for 1/4 of an egg. This is a trail that we don't really use a lot. It's a way to get around and get out to Hawks Pond if the water's really high in some of the little swales. And we haven't had to use it lately, but the idea is it's wide enough and nice enough that with the snow dog, I think I can pack it down for our hiking and our skiing this winter. And it does give access to a couple other trail segments further on, but further on it's usually so wet we don't even think about going through it unless it's frozen, and then with the deep snow we just don't take the effort. But I think now with the snow dog I'll be able to using it. Another part of that egg gone. That section of trail straight ahead, you can see how it really just drops off, and because of all the drainage coming from the springs over at Hawks Pond, there's usually water flowing through there or water held up in these areas. So most of the seasons of the year, it's no fun to go through there, and then it doesn't get cleared, and no fun to go through in the wintertime either. But usually we just bring this trail that we're on over because we turn left right here, and then it's the dry way to get out to Hawks Pond. Just a little bit of an alternative. You don't have to always come and go the same way all the time. Because this trail is so low, and usually there's water standing in here, I always just throw any brush or wood I cut. I get the kind of so it's just straight pieces, but I just drop it right into the bottom. If it's really wet, you can kind of sneak over along the edge there and walk up a little higher, but you can see how it's pretty good trench going down through here. So when it gets that low, sometimes there's no roots under either, so your foot just goes right down through into the muck. This is the main event for the day. Put a little snow on there, and there's no way we're getting underneath there, so I got a few potholes here, really deep spots that I can use this cedar. So it's down so low now, it's got to go. Just a few yards away, this is one of the main streams that flows out from Hawks Pond, because there are springs off to the west, so usually it flows all the time, but I think the beavers to the west have it all stopped up. So anyway, this is where this cedar is going to come in handy to maybe make a better walkway to get across here. Pretty ugly the way it is. Now we have the trail open back up again. Use that wood that had to come down anyway for a good purpose. Right over here I was able to patch up the main creek crossing, which, believe me, there's about always water flowing through there, but there's nothing now. But I can get the snow dog across that, and no problem walking across there. Grab hold of that little cedar tree above if you're worried about it. We're good to go. And I don't feel bad about half that bacon now. I mentioned that I always just throw all that wood down sideways. It just kind of rots down and gives a little structure. Another nice thing about down in this white cedar swamp. This white cedar, it does not rot, it lasts forever. Now this was a bunch of trees that fell down here, blew down, and I diced them up and I made this bridge. Because again, there was a lot of water channels coming out of Hawks Pond. Hard to believe how much water flows out of there when things are really going. It's probably been 10 years ago now. It's solid as could be and it didn't float away. It looks to me like the trail on down, pretty good shape. This stretch I already took the chainsaw through and whacked off a bunch of the overhanging alder and different things. And it's a pretty rough deal, but again, it's one of those spots that leave all the wood laying down below. I'm walking on it right now, some of the years past. It's just a real rough area. But it's a nice connector between two areas, and so I keep it up. It's just that it's rough enough you'll never probably, well, I could get a big brush mower through it maybe, but the stream comes from my spring. That's it right there. It's another 300 meters to the north of where it comes. Still not much current flowing through there. From here I can either jump, or I got a little bit of a bridge built right over there. Now we've gone through the rough spot and we break out into a little bit higher ground where the alder brush isn't there and the other cedar trees have taken over. We ended up back on a nice shaded trail. This is one of the alternate routes to get out to Hawks Pond, so it's nice having it open because it's nice to make a circle, go out there and then go off the north end of the dam and bring a different way back to the cabin. Again, I'd cut through ahead of this pass and just brought the chainsaw through, slashing, slicing and dicing more or less, leaving the debris on the ground, because here I know I got another tree on the trail down the ways, but we'll retrieve the saw. This is the last trail obstacle that I know about. We've got some more stuff we can do, but this is gets the trails opened up, and that was the main goal this morning, get another mile of good trail for later. Okay, that last toss was just showing off. You got that breakfast about worked off and starting to feel like it. This is the part of the day when you near the end you come across another mess. I'll just come back and do that later, but this whole thing has been about, working that breakfast off and Martin's weight control program. So one thing about weight control programs, you got to be honest with everybody and yourself. And what you didn't see this morning was after I had all those eggs and bacon and hash browns, after I got my pack packed up ready to hit the trail, I went in and had a cup of coffee and a piece of frozen chocolate cake I'd brought from back in Illinois. So I think in all honesty, all right, I'm going to go ahead and get this whacked up. That's my penance. I don't need one of them fancy fit devices to tell me that I can go back there and I can have one of Vonnie's apple pies, and I can do it without any guilt at all. That's it. Gym class is done for the day. Well, I said out there on the trail that I knew I was going to be okay with one of Vonnie's homemade apple pies without any regrets, because I'd had a good workout. I don't have to worry about putting on weight today, but I think I'm going to save that for a little bit longer. It's almost 2 o'clock. That was a long workout session. Instead, I chalked off a bunch of ice in my mug here. I got a decaf root beer that I'm going to enjoy first. Decaf, because after I've enjoyed it for a while, I'm going to kick back in this chair and enjoy a good nap. Something like this. Yeah. Right now the root beer is going to taste really good after that long workout. Oh. Very rewarding. So now, when you see Martin chowing down back here, which isn't the best diet in the world, but kind of hard to have a perfect diet when you're back here at the cabin, but anyway, far as how I get away with it, now you know the rest of the story.